The general demanded proof of her combat record. She dropped a hard drive and whispered, Volume 1. The Galactic Defense Council's marble floors had witnessed countless diplomatic proceedings, but never quite like this. General Korthak of the Vrex Empire stood at his full 8 feet, his chitinous exoskeleton gleaming under the chamber's harsh lights. His 4 compound eyes fixed on the small human female seated across from him, with what could only be described as disdain. The Council expects us to believe, his translator rendered his clicking speech into standard galactic, that this creature has the combat experience necessary to lead our joint forces against the Devourer fleet. Commander Sarah Chen remained perfectly still, her weathered hands folded on the obsidian table. At 52, she carried herself with the quiet confidence of someone who had nothing left to prove, yet everything to protect. Her brown eyes, flecked with gold, held depths that spoke of distant stars and darker memories. The human service record is classified, Ambassador Talani of the Ethereal Collective interjected, her crystalline form shimmering with nervous energy. But her recommendations come from the highest. Recommendations? General Korthak's mandibles clicked dismissively. Words. In 600 cycles of warfare, the Vrex have learned that words mean nothing when plasma burns through hull plating and quantum torpedoes tear reality apart. The chamber fell silent except for the gentle hum of the environmental systems. Representatives from a dozen species watched the exchange with growing tension. The Devourer fleet, an extragalactic force of unknown origin, had already consumed 3 star systems. Their technology seemed to adapt to every conventional weapon thrown at them, their ships multiplying with each victory. Humanity was the newest member of the Galactic Defense Council, barely 50 years since first contact. To many of the older species, they were still primitives who had only recently discovered faster-than-light travel. The idea that a human, especially one so small and unremarkable, could command their combined fleets against an existential threat struck most as desperate folly. General Korthak, Sarah spoke for the first time, her voice carrying the soft authority of someone accustomed to being heard. What proof would satisfy you? The Vrex general's head tilted, a gesture that in his species indicated amusement. Combat. Records, real ones. Not classified files or diplomatic recommendations. Show me blood spilled, ships destroyed, enemies vanquished. Show me why a species that has existed for less than a galactic day should lead warriors who have fought for millennia. Sarah nodded slowly, as if she had expected exactly this challenge. She reached into her jacket, a movement that caused several security officers to tense, and withdrew a small, antiquated data storage device. The hard drive was clearly human technology, its metal casing scarred and dented, bearing scorch marks that suggested it had survived conditions that should have destroyed it. She placed it on the table with a soft click that seemed to echo in the vast chamber. This contains my complete combat record from the Kepler conflict, she said quietly. All of it. General Korthak leaned forward, his sensory appendages twitching. The Kepler conflict was a minor skirmish in human space, barely worth mentioning. In galactic records, Kepler 442b, Sarah continued, her eyes distant. Population, 12 million human colonists. Defending force, 1 heavy cruiser, 3 destroyers, 40 fighters. She paused, her fingers unconsciously tracing a scar along her left hand. Attacking force, a hegemony battle fleet, 67 capital ships, 300 support vessels. Orders were simple: total planetary sterilization. The chamber had grown absolutely silent. Even the environmental systems seemed to hold their breath. The battle lasted 17 days. Sarah's voice remained steady, but something in her tone made the assembled representatives lean forward. By the end, there were no hegemony survivors. Impossible, General Korthak clicked. No force that small could. Volume 1, Sarah whispered, so softly that the translators barely caught it. The words hit the chamber like a physical blow. Several species gasped in their various ways. Ambassador Talani's crystalline form flickered. Violently, General Korthak's compound eyes widened to their maximum aperture. Volume 1? The ethereal representative's voice carried harmonics of disbelief. Sarah's expression remained impassive. 17 days of combat footage, ship-to-ship engagements, boarding actions, ground combat when they tried to land. She gestured to the scarred device. Every kill, every tactic, every moment when conventional wisdom said we should surrender, and we chose to fight instead. She stood slowly, her modest frame somehow filling the space around her with a presence that made ancient. Warriors, step back. You want to know why humans should lead this fight? Because when the Devourer fleet adapts to your quantum torpedoes and energy shields, when your time-tested strategies fail and your superior technology means nothing, there will still be humans, doing what we do best, finding a way to win anyway. General Korthak stared at the hard drive as if it were a venomous creature. And the other volumes? Sarah's smile was winter itself. There are 14 more conflicts on record, each one against impossible odds, each one ending the same way. She began walking toward the exit, her footsteps echoing in the silence. The Devourer fleet thinks it knows war because it has superior numbers and adaptive technology, but they've never fought humans who had nothing left to lose and everything to protect. She paused at the chamber door, looking back at the assembled representatives. The question isn't whether humanity can lead this fight. The question is whether you're ready to learn how we win wars that can't be won. As the door sealed behind her, General Korthak slowly extended one taloned appendage toward the hard drive. The scarred device seemed to pulse with the weight of contained violence, of desperate victories carved from the edge of extinction. For the first time in his 600 cycles of warfare, the veteran Vrex general felt something he had thought bred out of his species long ago. Fear. Not of the enemy they would face, but of the ally they had just chosen to follow into the darkness between stars. The vote to confirm Commander Chen's appointment was unanimous. The hard drive remained on the table, its secrets sleeping until the next time someone doubted what humans could accomplish when the galaxy's survival hung in the balance.